Today, Dundalk TV is with Ray Banks, and we are at Speed's Barbershop. And Ray, you came and brought a display today for the community to see. What did you bring, and why did you bring it?
First of all, I'm glad to be here. It's a blessing to be anywhere today, standing upright, number one. All the blessings. Miss Speed, very nice lady, very giving person, asked me to come down to talk to the children about registering the youth down here to bring back Negro League baseball in a degree or a Little League team down here. So I figured if I brought a few items down of Negro League memorabilia, bought some wooden figurines of Satchel Paige, Bert Simmons, some of the players who played back in the day, trophy called the Leon Day Trophy, dedicated to all the Negro League players. Back then, the players only received one trophy cup for a championship game, but they never received individual trophies like kids do today. Today, you can get trophies for just being nice and being good when you come out of timeout. But it was an honor for her to ask me to come down and display a few items of Negro League baseball memorabilia. I'm hoping to try to associate the Negro League with the Little League team in Turner Station once it's done. It was suggested that they could be named after, the kids could be named after the Negro League teams. That'll be a wonderful thing if they can do that. I'm sure if that took place, other folks would gravitate financially and from the heart to reach out and support the children that are in need of anything and everything that you can give them, but mainly love, and show them the awareness of the Negro League players historically, educationally. Today is a day that I'll never forget. By coming down, I called Miss B, the mayor of Turner Station. She does so many things, she wears so many titles. But I'm also associated with a museum in Owings Mills, Maryland, that opened up in 2013 that people don't even know about. We have 3 floors of artifacts, and we tell a story on each floor. Beginning in 1800s, ball players played way before Jackie Robinson on the 2nd floor and the 3rd level as well. And a lot of folks are really unfamiliar with a certain day that exists in our state of Maryland. The 2nd Saturday in the month of May is now Negro League Baseball Day in the state of Maryland. Former Governor O'Malley signed the bill on May the 7th, 2009 to declare that day. So I'm trying to bring awareness to that day in our state.
Okay, so you mentioned the museum, and I talked to Miss Speed about it earlier, and they have a former veterans building here in a nice little park there where they do some nice community gatherings, including for Veterans Day. I believe that's the one that I was at in the past. So they have a nice building there that actually they want to turn into a museum. And I thought it would be great if you were able to put some of that stuff in there, especially with Dr. Thomas having a huge thing for the Negro Baseball League right in this community. So I think that would be a perfect fit. And what do you think about that?
That's a great idea. That would be another vehicle of getting the legacy out of Negro League Baseball. The more sites you have of Negro League Baseball, the more awareness there is for people to see, the adults as well as the children. I'm willing to do what I can with DVD footage of Negro League Baseball. The artifacts can go in this museum once it's completed. And we have a lot. I have a lot of things at my home that I've been blessed with, and my wife is so gratified to get things out of the house. So this will give me another opportunity to not only get things out of the house, but put it into places which is very meaningful here in Turner Station.
Well, the first time that I met you, Ray, was at East Point Mall, and that goes back a couple years.
Yes,
I can't remember exactly when that was,
Yes.
You left a memorable impression on me. I told you I was going to come out to the Owings Mill Museum, which I did, and thank you for keeping this piece of important history alive, and for also coming to our community. And just want to support you, Miss Speed, and this is a part of my community here in Dundalk, so I'm very happy to be involved in this. Now we have Miss Juanita here, And she actually, a part of history that I think maybe Miss Speed wanted to share with you, and I'm not sure that you have heard this before, but I'll let Mr. Linwood Jackson and Juanita share that information. Why don't you just come into the picture and share the information, and you even have a few things here that you brought along that we can share the information about as well. I think you're really going to enjoy this. I think you're really going to, would you please join Mr. Banks? I think you're really going to enjoy this piece of history. And I heard it not too long ago, so I was very impressed with it myself. So Linwood, you told the story very well. Why don't you share the connection with Juanita playing softball with the Negro Baseball League in Turner Station?
Well, when I met my wife in 1972, she was playing softball. And at that particular time, there were so many teams down here, from Little League to teenagers to unlimited. I mean, they had so many teams, it was unbelievable. And most of the players played on multiple teams. And when I met my wife, she was on the Untouchable softball league, right? And I kept following them, and then we got married. So the same year we got married, they went to Michigan to play in the World Series softball for women. And before that, leading up to that, they had a wonderful 2-year range of being totally undefeated. And they won every type of title or trophy that you could for softball. And the highest one in softball is called a Black Eye Susie. And if you get that, you really have done something. But also they played in other areas. They played in such places like down in York, Pennsylvania. They played in the first, and I forgot this, they played in the first Inner Harbor softball tournament down at Rat's Field, and they won that one. And it started on Friday and ended on Sunday.
Well, wait a second. What I want to get to is the part with the
Negro?
connection. Yes. But also, I mentioned, since you're talking softball, is that you're not only putting together a baseball team here in the community, but you're also doing softball as well for girls. So it's boys and girls. Okay, yes. So please share the information, the wonderful story that you shared with me before, the connection with Juanita and the Negro baseball players that were here in Turner Station in yesteryears.
Okay, when I came to Turner Station, they were just men that lived in the community, worked in the community, worked at Bethlehem Steel, right? It was only after you would catch them on their calling day that they just want to talk about it. We had Charlie Humbles. He played in Cuba, and he played down in Georgia too. We had Biggie Williams. We had Osceola Smith. We had Sonny Nose. Well, Osceola Smith and Sonny Nose came from Texas. Dr. Thomas imported them up there. And Biggie Williams, I'm not sure where he came from, but I know he was imported. And also, I guess part of Dr. Thomas, to get them to stay, he made sure all of them got jobs down at Bethlehem Steel. So not only were they playing baseball, they were being employed. But also, most of them either coach, finance, or became the biggest cheerleader for these young ladies. And when I met my wife, I used to thought it was, really something to see former Negro League players out there with the girls telling them, slide, stand up, get on the bat, move in, move out.
Wow.
And they were giving them back all the stuff that they wanted to give to the National Baseball League they couldn't give, so they gave through the children. So the community became the repository of a lot of their skills. And I just think that the history needs to be unearthed in this community so that they can get their proper place in the history. And for my wife, I just thought that when they played baseball, they put their heart into it. Some people play just for the mere fact of playing the game, but they put their heart into it, right? And so that's what we're trying to get back. We're trying to get the young boys and girls to come back and played baseball. There's more baseball diamonds in Turner Station than any other part of Baltimore County.
So, Mr. Banks, what do you think about that connection with Juanita and the former Negro baseball players? So you have a product of standing right with you right now of someone that actually, I say played with, because if they were picking up the ball and hitting it or coaching, that's playing with. So we have a product right here standing with us in this room. So I find that to be rather amazing myself. What do you think about that?
The amazing thing is the relationship with females playing softball. I remember Miss Juanita, I don't know if you were part of the team called Vanity, or there was a couple teams from Turners that played out in Greenhill Park.
Yeah.
And you played in you probably played in my Mr. Santa softball marathon back in the day that I had. The relationships with the guys and the ladies back then, this was done back in the 70s and 80s. But I do remember Bobby Jones.
Yes.
Well, Bobby Jones and I played ball. He played on a team called the B2 Raiders. He also had a team of ladies that he managed back in the days. And it's ironic that you were able to play ball, and you probably was on some of my pictures back in the house. What I would love to do is to have a reenactment of baseball. Mamie Peanut Johnson, there were 3 African-American females who played in the Negro League. Charlie Stone, Connie Morgan, and Mamie Peanut Johnson, who just passed away 3 years ago. Miss Juanita, you remind me of her with your signs and everything, and I'm saying this positively.
But three months ago, right? You told me earlier.
Three months ago.
3 months ago.
She passed away. Mm-hmm. And the reenactment, now I found somebody to portray Mamie Peanut Johnson, if you wouldn't mind, once we do this. I would love for you to do that. And I would love to tell you a story about...
And today, just to date, this is April 8th, just so everybody knows when her passing was. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yes, and I would love to have your story told in the museum up in Owings Mills or at Ripken Stadium. There are 3 glass showcases up there that highlights Negro League players from senior softball, Hall of Fame, and Arundel County. And the ladies' story needs to be told. And when we do this, Miss Juanita, I want you to be the first one inducted in the Hall of Fame up in Ripken Stadium in Aberdeen, Maryland. But the association, what I just heard today, I'm very proud of you. And it brings back memories. If Mamie Peanut Johnson was alive today, she would be honored to be in your presence. Not for you to be in hers, but just honored to be in your presence. And I admire you for what you did and what you carry on the legacy. And that legacy needs to be told.
Okay.
Also, I would like to say
Please,
this.
go ahead.
My wife she's shy, and probably if you would just have to be around her for that. She was the first unsung athlete in Baltimore County school history.
Oh my goodness.
In 1969. She mastered all the sports: baseball, softball, track and field, field hockey. As a matter of fact, some of her track records just got broken lately because she did the 50-yard dash. The record was 6'8", and she did it in 6'6". And you know, a lot of people just don't know what that is, to be the first unsung African American in the history of Baltimore County. And no place do anybody know that story other than in this community and up at Dundalk. I think that needs to be highlighted.
Yes.
I think that when it comes to things of that nature, right, a lot of times, and I tell people all the time, we got to stop letting our story be told at our obituary. We got to start being living history. We got to be history that we can pass on to children, where it become oral and everybody gets to know what it is. So I'm just proud of my wife because she's exceptional with me. Besides, I love her. I mean, that she's just a great athlete, and she never told her story.
Well, you had shared in the interview that we did, Stars Shine Bright in Turner Station. That was DundalkTV when we did the interview with Linwood and Juanita. And that was a great part of the story, or a great part of the story that you shared, was that how the kids were going up and touching the picture, which shows how much the kids do care, and they will gravitate towards that. Now, Juanita,
I'll tell it. I'll tell it.
Okay, well, let me just say one thing, and I love the story. I'm sitting here smiling, waiting to get to tell this part. Juanita told me when the first time that I met her that Brooks Robinson had nothing on her. She didn't let anything get past her. So I love that part of the story, and I thought Mr. Baggs would love to hear that too. So I'm sorry, Linwood, please go ahead.
For the longest time, I thought the kids in my community was doing things that would really make me say, man, y'all don't do that. And they used to come by me every day and say, I touched your wife this morning. And I'm saying, no, you didn't. Oh, yeah, we touched her. And what they were saying was that her picture and her trophy is up at the high school. And every time they walk past it, they touch it. And they tell other children, say, we know her. That's Miss Nita. And I just think that trophy needs to be duplicated and put down in this community so these children can really see it.
Well, that's
because everybody don't go to that school.
Well, that's one thing that we're hoping to do, and we were waiting for all this to materialize first, and then to move forward with that. And it's kind of conversations Ms. Speed and I were having. So now, Juanita, what do you think about what you just heard about being a representative for the Negro League and moving forward with that? What do you think about that?
Like I told you, I'm amazed. I mean, like he said, I played the game. I took it to my heart. I played the game, but people clap for your stuff, but I didn't worry about people recognizing me. I just did what I like to do. A lot of people don't do what they like to do. I did what I like to do. I did the best I could do in every game.
And you received a lot of awards before, and also you just recently wound up with some citations here at a special event. Linwood, back over this way a little bit. Special event in the community.
I'm sharing with Mr. Banks.
That was about within the last month. Within the last month.
Yeah.
So.
And they recognize him for playing softball.
And a lot of women that played in that league actually came back. They lived in different parts of the country, so that was an amazing event.
I want to say this. Kevin Kamenetz, county executive, was very instrumental in providing the museum for us up in Owings Mills.
I remember you telling me that.
He took care of that responsibility financially. We don't pay any rent. It was him. It was the county executive. It's ironic. When I talk to him from now on, I'm going to associate Miss Juanita's name every time I see him, because I'm very proud today of meeting you. And you said something that maybe Peanut Johnson, I can quote her. I did something I wanted to do. I have a DVD. She said the same words. So there is an association with you and Manny Peanut Johnson together. I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
My goodness.
Well, this is a great piece of history, and you had a table set up outside a little while ago, and you were talking to the kids and talking about keeping that history alive and putting the different pieces of history alive. This is an amazing piece of history in our community.
Yes, it is. And the wooden figurine I showed you of Manny Peanut Johnson was cut out of wood.
Yes.
I'm saying this now. I'm going to put myself out there. Miss Juanita, if you have a picture of yourself in uniform or without uniform, if you can make a 8x10 or 8.5 by 11, the wooden statues that were on the table that I had on display,
Yes.
I'll get my guy to cut a couple of wooden statues out for you, so I can put you up at the in the museum. Wow, that's amazing. And it's almost, you have a story like a decathlon, because I think of decathlon meaning that you did a little bit of everything and you did it well. Well, I'm very proud, and I'm sure that if Donald Beasley was here today, he would be just as proud, and I'm sure he would say that once a museum is created, I'm going to say created here, I'm not going to say if, once it's created here, you should be the first inductee in that museum. And with ribbon ceremonies, and prayerfully that the delegates will come out and support you. My folks, my board members, people that I know would definitely be on hand to cut that ribbon and I'll be more than proud. I'll be smiling from ear to ear.
And DundalkTV will be proud to be there as well.
Yes.
Okay, any last words anyone would like to share?
Thank you.
Do you remember your number that you wore on the back of your jersey or T-shirt?
Number 3. Yes, number 3.
And you know, I'm saying that because once the Little League teams have started here, I would love to see 2 things happen. It was one, I've changed my mind, now it's 2 things. On one side on the shoulder of the T-shirt or jersey, you have Donald Beasley.
Yeah.
On the other side, you got to have number 3 and Miss Juanita on that side. So all the kids will be wearing your number forever. Not only on themselves as far as T-shirt, but they'll be wearing it in their heart. This is what I love to see. And also,
And this is a beautiful story, and thank you
Yes.
very much for doing what you're doing. Keeping history alive is so important, and you're doing such a wonderful job. And then coming to the community today with Miss Speed doing such a wonderful job in her community and getting the support from so many people like Miss Coleman and so many others.
thank you so very much. This has been a very pleasing day to me, weather-wise. I went to church this morning, and God blessed me to meet this wonderful lady and her husband who's done so much that needs to be recognized. Her story needs to be told. A seed has been planted in my heart today, and that same seed will be planted in that new museum, because I can already see it done, and you being the first recipient to go in.
Well, if you've never been there, I hope that when you leave today, when you're ready to go, that we ride by there and take a look at it and get a picture outside. And I would like for Juanita to finish this interview. Juanita, what do you think about what Mr. Banks had just shared with you?
I'm just so astonished, you know. We played ball, we did the best, we did what the coaches say. You never thought after 30-something years, you just thought, well, hey, I did what I wanted to do. You never thought nobody would come back and recognize and give you credit. You know, a lot of people look for credit. I'm one, I don't look for credit. I just do what pleases me. And if it make me happy, if I never get credit, that's fine too. But a lot of people, that's all what they do. They look for credit and put them here, put them there. I'm not about that. Never have been.
Well, one of the nice things I remember from one of the discussions we had was that you care about the kids and you really try to help them out, and you're active in the community, and you really want to see this happen for the youth of the community.
Yes, I worked for Baltimore County Recs and Parks almost 30 years, and the children just coming in today, I've never seen such. Because I used to do different programs with children. They was the sweetest children, but these children now, they'll try you.
Yeah, so they need something. They need something. They need some good mentors, and that's very important. So thank you all very much, and we look forward to doing so much more together. And I hope to get together with you really soon, Mr. Banks, and the 96-year-old gentleman. You said 96, didn't you?
I think it's 93, Mr.
90.
George Breckenridge.
Yes, I'm looking forward to doing that interview
Yes.
soon as possible. Thank you so much.
Thank you.